We can. Praise God, our Heavenly Father, as we come before you this evening, we want to thank you for all your many, many blessings in life.
Yes,
And Heavenly Father, we just ask that you would be with us here this evening, that you would guide and direct our thoughts, our words, and Lord, in our decisions. Lord, we ask you to be with our first responders here in Mineral County. We ask that you put your hand of guidance and protection over them. We ask you to be with all of the people in our county that's sick and that's facing illnesses, Lord, and dealing with them. We ask you to be with them and comfort them, Lord, and just touch them if it be thy will.
yes.
Now, Heavenly Father, be with this meeting this evening, and we'll give you the glory for it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Sing the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Did, everybody sign in? If you haven't, there's a sheet there. Okay. So what we're going to do here, all the members is present. I'd like to call this meeting to order. You don't have nothing else other than what you give us on this agenda, correct? I hear a motion to approve the agenda.
Make the motion to approve the agenda.
No second, I approve it also. So now we're down to business. What I would like to do, if it's all right, we've got a few people, I don't know if some of us did mark on here, I'm assuming the check mark, is that a yes or a no?
That's a yes.
Yeah. It's a yes, okay, I didn't know, but we have three people that wants to speak, so I'm gonna go with Dennis. Yes, sir.
I would like to apologize to Mr. France. I accused him of being unethical at the meeting, at the short gap meeting for commingling funds. And I asked people in Charleston about mixing funds from water to sewer. And they said there was nothing against that in the Ethics Act. However, they sent me to another agency, which is the State Auditor's Office. They said it's illegal to mix those funds from one to the other. And not only that, it is criminal. And not only that, once the auditors and the people who issue grants find out about it, you're not gonna get any more grants.
I did not know that, did you? I never knew that.
Well, the auditors know,
Ever.
and they got a note in the folder now for when they come in here, they're definitely gonna look at all of that stuff.
Now, not to interrupt you, you going to Bridgeport at the auditor training?
Yeah.
Can you check on that out there too, talk to them about that? So we was just down there yesterday in Martinsburg at the auditor training. Gotta know this, I would have questioned it.
Well, this guy,
I never
that,
realized it.
the one that called me, I give you his phone number if you want.
Please do.
1-304-558-2251.
2251.
Correct. He said that I was supposed to tell you people that.
Okay, I'm going to make a phone call sometime tomorrow, hopefully.
Okay, now, the last time you and I met, you were supposed to check with Jerry about the wages. When I told you that somebody was making $140,000.
Yes, sir, I did, and that is not correct. They are not making 140. They're making 62, 64.
63,000.
Yes, between 62 to 63,000.
Well, then why is it in the papers that they file that way?
I don't know. I can't answer.
Well, then the paper they're filing is incorrect. And if that's incorrect, they're gonna get fined again.
Well, if the paper put it incorrect, it's not. They won't, they're not held reliable for what's published if it's published wrong.
That's the report to the PSC is what he's referring to.
Oh, is that-
It's a report
Oh, yeah.
submitted by the PSD to the PSC.
want me to answer that?
Please.
We have to use the chart of accounts from the Public Service Commission. Certain ways that we record overtime of other various administrative things falls under that heading, and that's why that is $160,000 versus the actual correct number for administration. Our accountants, have to do it the way that it's done.
So the 160-some thousand, please, because I'm not following everything, I'll be honest with you. What all does that include?
It includes overtime for all the employees.
For all employees?
All employees. It includes the wages of our, general manager. Depending on what we do as a board, some of what we get gets included in that. Then there's other miscellaneous little things that the accountants put in there, but, since this goes through the accountants and the auditors for years and years and years, they have never questioned this because that's, in fact, they're the ones that enter it.
So does that answer your question?
No, because I checked on this wages business and they have to use the uniform system of accounts. And those wages that I was referring to, where it says admin and general expenses, which they are listed on the sewer side and the water side. And these are on the same page where it has a number of employees engaged in administrative function. That doesn't even total to a whole week's work. And if you add these two up here, the admin, you come up with $140,000. Now, that is wages only, wages and bonuses and compensation. It cannot include anybody else. That means not the board of directors, they are on another page. It doesn't include anybody other than people in admin. So why is it so much money?
I can't answer it.
And how do you pay them overtime if they're only working 3 days a week?
You want an answer to that?
Please.
They work, Gray works 5 days a week, as does the other lady. We are required to be open 3 days a week. The other 2 days a week, they are in the office. And if you happen to get down there and you need to talk to them, the other set of doors other than the front door where you could have the drop slot in it, you can go in there and talk to them at any time routinely. They do work 5 days a week. Actually, they put in more than 40 hours a week, some weeks.
But not on admin.
Everything that, our general manager does is administration. That's her job.
Okay, well then she's only putting in 3 days a week on administration. You said so yourself.
I'm not understanding where you get your numbers or how you.
Here, this is on 606A.
Well, the answer for that would be, we can't have our accountant here tonight to explain this in accounting terms. All I know is that, everything that we've entered has been according to the direction of the Public Service Commission and the auditors that do things for us. So
Well, they're trusting that you're truthful. But right here, it says you ain't. These are filed papers by you, okayed by the CPA.
I'd like to be able to answer that specifically, but we need our accountant to do that. I don't have him here tonight. He's off with having had surgery. I can get those answers for you, but I don't have that specific thing tonight.
We better work on it. That's all I got.
Thanks, sir.
We have to defer to the end until everybody else discusses.
Okay, so we got Jerry. You signed up to speak.
I have The same thing that you got up there, I'd like to read this, and my name's Department Heads. This came from our accountant. As the commissioners of the Frankfurt Public Service District have fulfilled their obligation during the proposal for rate increase process by holding a meeting for the reading of the increase on November the 12th, 2026, and presenting the proposal to the County Commission on December 22nd, 2025. Further, the commissioners appeared at the December 16th, 2025 meeting at Short Gap Fire Hall called by the Mineral County Commission. In total, we have appeared before ratepayers for over 5 hours, listened to all complaints, and answered all questions. We will not respond to further inquiries from ratepayers as part of this process. We will, however, address the 3 recent inaccurate statements repeatedly voiced by certain ratepayers. Number 1, at the November 12, 2025 reading of the rate increase, our accountant stated that the rate increase consisted partially of payments to reserves, with the remainder of the funds to be used for anticipated increased operating expenses identified by the commissioners for fiscal year 2026. In public meetings and published documents, the district has been consistent with the reasons for a rate increase throughout the process. Number 2, no part of the proposed use of funds from the rate increase are for capital expenditures. Number 3, the administrative category of the district's annual reports for the Public Service Commission for wages consists of part of the general manager's salary, part of the billing assistant's salary, the majority of sick, vacation, and holiday pay for all of the district's employees. So that goes to address part of what you're asking.
That's wrong.
We feel the expenses have been allocated properly as noted above. The expenses reported are not one employee's salary. Immediately after the November 12, 2025 meeting, the district directed their accountant to be available to the county commission and provide all documents requested. On November 17, 2025, in response to a request from Commissioner Staggs, our accountant provided profit and loss statements to provide greater detail of expenditures. The May 13, 2025 customer account notarized and provided by the PSC 2 years of total payroll, pension, and tax summaries, and 5 years of detailed payments to significant contractors. On December 1st, 2025, all 3 commissioners were provided detail of each outstanding loan. On December 3rd, 2025, all 3 commissioners were provided the fiscal year 2025 annual reports in Excel format to more easily navigate them, along with explanatory comments. On December 22nd, 25 and January 15th, 2026, our accountant emailed all 3 commissioners and further emphasized his ability to provide any information requested. He also indicated on December 22nd, 2025, that he would be unable to attend this meeting to set vote on the request for rate proposal. Given our availability and documents provided, we're confused as to why the commission president asked us to appear today with documents and explanations. We have not brought any documents, and at that point we take comments.
Anybody got any comments?
I was looking at, Mr. President, at the initial meeting, everything that kept getting said on the November 12th meeting was reserve funds, reserve funds, reserve funds. That's what we went with. They needed money to fund that reserve fund because it was like 1/8, I think it is, of your operating expenses has to be in that fund. And then if that was clear, why at the, I think it was the November 17th meeting of the PSD, did they make a motion and vote on changing what the rate increase was for? It's from their own minutes. So if back in, I forget what month it was, October, September, whenever they made the motion, they wanted it across the board, the total, like almost 15%. They wanted that. And it was for a reason. Then why did they have another vote in November and change it? That is the whole reason behind my objection that I filed with Lauren about they should start over again because they changed the whole reasoning behind the rate increase. I understand they're underwater. I understand that they need money. Be consistent, tell us exactly where it's going. But they changed. Their own minutes reflect that. Their own minutes say that they had another vote. They made another motion, another vote. And that should have stopped the initial one and restarted the clock. Because you can't change and just go willy-nilly, oh, we want it for this, no, we want it for that. You can't do that.
Okay, Mrs. Kester, you had a question mark here.
I didn't know if I was gonna say anything or not. But, not about this, but, I mean, I know you all are supposed to vote tonight. I mean, I'm still wondering what this 32 million debt was about and why there hasn't been any accountability about that. I mean, it's no longer just about that rate increase, it's about some accountability as where funds were spent. And nothing has been forthcoming to the public about where that money went to. And where, you know.
Anybody want to respond to that?
We have $32 million in debt because that's how you build these projects. That's how you install pipe in the ground, build plants, et cetera. Yes, we borrowed the money for that. All of that money is for less than 1% through various funding agencies. We don't get loans unless we provide all the engineering data and the proper criteria for projects and expansions. They won't give you the money for anything if you don't provide all that. So, did we spend the money without accountability? No, we actually had to account to the lending agencies before they would provide that.
Now I have a question then. In October of 24, Hubert Michael, your accountant, sent a letter. They were apparently looking for more money. And in the letter, he said, everything's kosher. They have money. There's no problems. Everything's funded. Renewal and replacement fund, capital reserve account, everything's funded. What happened between October of 24 and April of 25 to put us in this dire of straits that we need this kind of increase?
To answer that, I would have to see what she's talking about. This looks to be,
Request for funding. So who are we lying to?
I like how you throw the word lying around.
Well, we can't be good one month and then 6 months later, a multi-million-dollar company is in dire straits where they gotta come ask 65 and older for a couple dollars extra a month.
This looks like it's a request for the, one of the projects we're proposing to do.
One of the projects that was not supposed to be proposed, because I specifically asked when this all started, under my FOIA, what projects are being proposed with this new rate increase, and I was told there were no projects on the books, and that's a project. So as I said,
Is that for that valve for the school?
What's that?
Was that for that valve for the school?
no,
No, this isn't for that. To give her an accurate answer on this, I have to talk to Ron Reed.
In the house, no, no.
I don't know, he's getting paid $3,000 a month, I guess he is. So what is the money needed for now? And I guess I'm asking the commission, like, they changed their own motion. In their own meeting, they changed what the rate increase was gonna be for. So I am opposed to what Mr. Reed said, where he said, we've been consistent from the beginning. No, you aren't, because Your own minutes reflect that you changed it.
So you asked the question, what is the money needed for, correct?
The original proposal that they had, the original motions, okay, said it was for specific things. And that's when we had the public meeting, because we're like, okay, well, what do you need it for? That's when they said the reserve account. So now they're saying that that is not the case. They need it, I think at the December 16th meeting is when they changed, and now they need it for all these other issues that's going on.
To my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, gentlemen. To my understanding, you want to give your people in the field, employees, a little raise. You'd like to have another employee, correct?
We are definitely short an employee.
And some of this is going into, I'm assuming, going into the reserve fund.
Part of it is earmarked for the reserves.
And, okay, and the rest of it, I'm hoping is saved for the tank.
As much as we can, yes.
Two pumps, I think.
Two pumps, yeah.
And an ultraviolet.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you got,
I didn't think.
what your head on that TV, Mr.
So if I can get a little clarification on this paper. Where your planned use of additional funds. So the first item is the reserve, that you're wanting 351,000. And you have 20,000 still in there?
I can't tell you today's amount, but that's probably the time I was written correct, yeah.
So. I guess most everybody here works on a budget. And pay the house payment, the rent, sort of everything down the line. So I assume you guys have some form of.
We do budget.
So, I mean, payroll, that's a big. What percentage every month is supposed to go into the reserve?
There's a mandated amount that's supposed to go into the reserve. The overall figure. Yeah. 2.28%.
It was an eighth of your expenses.
12.5%.
12.5%.
Yeah, you're right. It's 12.5%
So you-
of whatever our total revenue is.
And that was last year, what, 4,063,000?
That sounds close.
That's what you have.
Yeah, that
Right?
sounds close.
So you're getting roughly 338,583 a month then. I know it fluctuates. So. What percentage did you say of that needed to go in?
12.8%.
12.8.
It's,
When was the last time it was fully funded?
I can't tell you that has been 100% funded in the past year and a half. It maybe have been spots in there that it wasn't.
What? Correct me if I'm wrong, but that fund is for emergencies.
I don't know that I use the word emergencies. It's there to, when something happens that needs to be done, yes. So if you want to define everything as an emergency.
You can take out that fund.
Yeah.
If there's no guidelines, it's whatever you think is an emergency, then you take it out of that fund.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
What emergencies did you have to deplete that when you were at home?
Specifically, mainly, we have water breaks that get expensive. We have equipment failures that get expensive. We're a utility, so basically anything in the world can pop up.
Okay. The next thing on there is you got 72,000 for increased vendors.
What was that?
72,000 you got set aside here out of this rate increase you're going is to cover increases your vendors.
Yes, the biggest one of those is, the company that, Miller Environmental runs the water plant.
That you're paying how much a month to?
For the latest rate increase, roughly 62,000.
And then the next one's a new employee and promote an existing employee. So you got 56,000 on the water, 21,000 on sewage. How many total employees you have?
Currently.
Yeah.
Let's see, I have to have look at my.
New office workers, 3 at the wastewater treatment plant, and 3 in these fields.
Yeah, that's correct.
That's a total of 6, 8.
Okay, so the water at 56,000, that's covering what, 5 employees? Is that covering the office people in your 3 field?
Yeah, that would be what we had anticipated for those.
So the 3 field, the only thing they work on is water breaks.
No,
Now, the field
So
people.
it goes back and forth.
It goes back and forth.
And the sewer employees, those 3 stay in that plant?
If they're listed as plant operators, they stay in the plant.
Or
2
they all 3
stay,
listed as-
2 stay in the plant, and 1 continuously, maintains the pump station, sewage pump station.
Each have your home stations every day.
And everybody's a 40-hour employee. So. Yeah,
We were short a guy at the sewage treatment, plant.
Where you are?
So there should be 4.
In order to maintain proper coverage, we should have 4 licensed operators.
Was Mr. Pierre brought back as a part-time? I thought he was coming back part-time.
No. He is available if needed. He's not part-time.
okay, so. I'm trying to do some math here, but, so the new employee. Well, let's start with the raise. So you've already gave somebody a raise, right? Did I see that in the minutes that you gave somebody a $3 raise because they certified to run the plant?
When he became licensed to operate the plant, yes, would be his raise.
So that's the raise you're talking about here.
Yeah,
About
that sounds right.
3 minutes, I would guess.
So
Yes.
21,000 for a $3 an hour raise.
What was that?
So you're giving 21,000 for a $3 raise to the service.
It's a raise for all the employees.
No, that's on down here. This one says, add 1 new employee and promote 1 existing employee. The calculations include wages, taxes, and benefits.
Well, that would be 2 people.
Now I'm talking about the promote, the raise you gave.
We just said promote and
Yeah, but you got 2 different columns here. You got 56,000 that I assume is for the new employee. 21,000 is for the raise, because he's going to the sewer department.
By the time that you figure in insurances, FICA, all the rest of the stuff, those numbers are probably accurate.
A $3 raise is going to wind up costing you 21,000.
The $3 alone in the paycheck is roughly $6,400 in the check.
If three times 2,080 hours comes out to be 62,400.
Yeah.
So where did we get the 21? Can you tell me that? What adds on to that $3? You said it was what?
I was just thinking that we have FICA, our portion of that. Insurance, which works out to be the average, what, $7, $8 an hour?
retirement.
And retirement, everything put together, our accountant put that number together, so I'm sure he picked up on all of it, the extraneous stuff.
Okay, so the package for that other guy's gonna wind up being $34 and something.
Most likely.
Okay. Then you drop down to the raise for all your employees. So you have 39,000 on the water side. You have 69,000 on the sewer side. So You got 5 employees on the water side, divided into that 39,000. And you got 3 employees divided into the 69,000 on the sewer side. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay. Then you have the calculations, and then we drop down to the use of cash working capital reserve for near-term maintenance. So you have 2 work vehicles at 90,000. You've already purchased one of them, correct?
Recently we did purchase a vehicle, correct?
Okay, so we still got the 90,000 listed there. Then you have 2 pumps at 60,000 each. You already purchased one of them, didn't you?
We did.
Okay. Then you have an ultraviolet system. What exactly is that and where's it going?
The water that we discharge back into Patterson's Creek after it's treated has to go through the ultraviolet system to make sure that all of the bacteria, the nasty stuff that you really don't want to get back in the water, it kills that. It's a series of clear tubes that have ultraviolet lights around them to kill that bacteria.
This is new and not a replacement?
We need to replace the existing system.
This is a replacement.
Yes. Company that makes the existing system no longer makes the model we have, so we have to replace the whole thing.
And have you already committed to that system?
We have not.
But you have talked with the vendor according to the minutes.
We have talked to vendors, a number of vendors that make that equipment to see if there is a suitable system from somebody else that might do what this one does.
Then you have tank rehabilitation. Where's that tank at?
That's the Dawn View tank. It's above the nursing home in Fort Ashby. And it's in really, really rough condition and its size is inadequate for any future expansion of the system.
So you're going to take that one out and put another one in place.
Ideally, we would build a new tank beside it, big enough and high enough to do the job we need to do.
Is this the same tank that I seen somewhere you just spent 200,000 on painting it?
No, that was another tank.
I thought it was listed as Dawn View.
No, we never did that to Dawn View. We did, there was a tank, what is it, Sunrise, not Sunrise.
Baker Hall,
No,
no,
it's the tank and, I'm getting 17 inch now.
Ashby Crest,
Ashby Crest,
the
yeah,
Ashby Crest tank got
rebuilt.
freaked. And we found out from that we should have replaced that tank at the time because the rehabilitation ended up costing us nearly the cost of the tank. But you don't know that until you get into it.
All right, then the last item on this, you have a SCADA system. What exactly is that?
A SCADA system is an electronic system where that we can read tank levels, pressures, pumps running, pumps failed, overflows. Well, not necessarily overflows, but pumping systems that are getting too full. That would transmit back to the office and to the water plant in Fort Ashby so that you could glance at the computer screen and see what your whole system is doing at one time. Right now, you do that by basically driving out to the pump stations and checking them every day.
And that's a man that works for Miller that does that?
Miller does part of it. We have an employee that does the sewage side of it. Part of Miller's contract is to operate pump stations.
Okay. So how reliable are these systems?
SCADA systems,
Yeah, have you seen a system in operation?
Fountain has one, it's right here.
Allegheny County is running the SCADA system.
So
The
the area we're in, that, I mean, I know we have trouble with phones and computers from time to time. Is that gonna affect this?
Actually, I personally did a survey with cell phones at each station to make sure that each station can receive cell phone signals. That's how it's operated off of. I personally did that survey myself to make sure that all our pump stations will do that.
How often is this system going to have to be updated? Seems like with the modern technology, it's every couple of years.
The fountain system was updated I'm rounding this off, 6, 7 years ago. And they have done some work to that recently, mainly because the vendor that serviced it was no longer available. So, the vendor that we would use for this is already doing some of that for us. We would just extend what they already do.
So how long does it take for a guy to go around and check all the pumps? Tanks?
On
Couple
the
hours?
sewer, no, on the sewer side, that's a full day to go around and check them all and do what is necessary. For the water side of it, that Miller Environmental does as part of their contract, I can't tell you. I'm still gonna guess a few hours a day to do the checks, the chlorination and, report everything.
So at 500,000, you could pay a guy quite a while.
The real advantage of the SCADA system is you know what happens as soon as it happens. It sets up alarms that'll come to your cell phone and you can get people out. This equipment failures in one of these systems gets really, really, really expensive fast, particularly if you have a sewage overflow.
I mean, to be honest with you, this has been a mess from the start. First meeting, 60-some people. First question asked was, can we move this somewhere else? So people could sit down, people could hear. They chose not to do that. They told us at the end of the meeting, they would have another meeting. They decided not to do that. I haven't seen or heard anything from any of them where they're doing anything to cut costs, to streamline things. It was brought up about the post office box. You got $200 a month to rent the post office box. We were told it was the sheer volume is why they couldn't do away with it. I'm guessing a third of your people pay online.
I can't give you that figure. A significant number, I would agree to.
And then you probably have, that drops us to 2,000. So out of that 2,000, we probably have a fourth of them that drops your payments off in the door.
Can't answer that particular figure.
Okay. But, I mean, on top of the $200, you have a guy goes in and picks the mail up every day.
No, when Ray takes things to the accountants, she picks it up.
But you have a guy that goes in from time to time.
We have a guy who goes to law enforcement every day and checks the area assistant and he picks the mail up when asked, not every day. He's in law enforcement.
So we have some man hours there involved in picking mail up.
If you count the 15 minutes it takes to go and pick up something for the guys already there, yes.
May I interject something here? I was appalled the other month when everybody got 2 bills. And so when I took the bills that I pay down and dropped them off, I asked, how did that happen? They don't even send out their own bills down there. I mean, I would think if you had 1,200 bills and then you've got 2,400 bills, you'd notice the difference in that pile. So there was double mailings, and that's not the first time it's occurred. But I was appalled they don't do their own billing down there. It's farmed out. So now I would think that's a fairly large amount of money. Plus, when they make mistakes like that, I'm sure they're passing that postage on, even if they are getting bulk rates.
I answer that. Want me to answer that?
Sure.
Yes, we do our own billing. Our bigger problem is sometimes when we take the packets of bills that are pre-sorted to the post office and drop them off. Nothing wrong with the local handling of this, but sometimes when they get to Baltimore, they just disappear, and then all of a sudden, I guess they find whatever has been misplaced, and that's how the double billing thing happens. It's a mess for us because when people don't get bills, they don't necessarily make payments, and then they get late notices, and it upsets everybody, and it's a mess.
So there's no way that the office would accidentally hit send these bills again, and it would go to the printer and a printer would take it to the post office and drop it off because that's what they're paid to do. You're saying that is not what happened.
We don't send stuff to printers, we print them ourselves.
Well, she told me it was outsourced, and I got both my bills, all four of my bills on the same day, two for both places that I pay a bill for. They came on the same day.
I'm
So
sorry,
they've
but
been run on the same day.
we have printers print the bills for us as far as the blank bills, but as far as the individual bills getting run off and sent out, we do that ourselves. And it's the same with the shut off letters and everything else. The girls process that in the office themselves.
One of the most troubling things I heard about this through all these meetings and stuff was the fire department said they're having trouble getting caps off the hydrants.
I would dearly love myself if we had a person dedicated to nothing but fire hydrants. Now, this past year and a half, we have repainted all the fire hydrants, had the caps removed, the gaskets put in them, the valves operated. We're trying to figure out a way with the number of people we've got that we can get that on a schedule. But keep in mind, when you do exercise the valves, you also flush water out of them. And there's a limit to how much of that you can do in any given day before it affects the rest of the system and stirs up a lot of sediment.
But I think this was more that they couldn't get a cap off the hydrant to hook their hose up to it. I'll tell you what, I know you throw on manpower and everything. I will volunteer to go with one of you and start taking caps off and just make sure they
I
are.
don't know that legally that we can have somebody do that as a volunteer. I think you have to be on our payroll. I would have to check on that.
Put me on the payroll for 10 cents an hour. It's an important thing, I think.
I agree.
I mean, it's somebody's property, it's somebody's right.
1,000,000%. I agree with you.
I mean, it's something that, I mean, yes, you gotta provide good water, but you also gotta provide a working hydrant system. And we'll say one other thing. Your next meeting, why don't you invite the fire department's representatives to come, because there's a lot of complaints from the fire department.
We have had those over the years at different times and, they're certainly welcome to come. Absolutely.
I seriously think you need to ask them to come
Yeah.
and get their grievances and deal with them, because there's a
Not
lot of things.
I'm not against that.
I mean, what we do know about this is that 25% of our area is 65 years old. 35% of them don't use the minimum. So they're paying for a service they don't get. I don't know if you guys was at the meeting in Short Gap, the amount of hands that was raised that said they buy drinking water, they buy bottled water. One lady brought in a jar that was so cloudy, I certainly wouldn't drink it. Most of Wally Ford says they would rather go back on the Cumberland water than to have the water that's being provided to them. People don't want to pay for a service that they don't get, or for a service that's poor quality. That's what's going on. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I haven't seen enough information. There's a lot of things that's still sketchy to me, with the money that's in debt, this whole deal with the reserve. I just don't see. I mean, I don't know whether you have to vote right now, or whether you could postpone it for 6 months, let these guys get some information together. You know, I mean, as far as what the plan is, I mean, I know you said maybe leave the 2,000 gallon and less people,
I'll discuss that here in a minute.
and then charge the other ones.
Okay.
We had
Several things here. So.
had a $5 service fee, a $10 service fee. All those things, I don't see how that's fair to everybody. I mean, I can't pay one rate. My neighbor across the street with 3 kids, 5 in the house, is going to pay another rate. Same with the service fees. If I'm only using X amount of water, this guy's using that. So, I mean, there's got to be, I mean, I think, you know, maybe we need to slow this down and really get talk about things and get a little better plan. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right, Dutch has come up with some figures. And you,
That's like that.
Oh,
two questions.
Oh, I'm sorry,
No, that's fine. I didn't sign up, so you really don't have to let me talk. But, how much does it take to service the debt per year?
Are you talking about,
Interest, you gotta pay interest on the debt.
we pay less than 1% interest?
But how much is it?
Whatever 1% of $32 million is.
Now, some of that is like at 5.5% or 5.25%. I mean, not all of it is under the 1%.
The, loans that we took out that pay for the infrastructure that are IJDC loans, they're all under 1%. Now, if we had to take a loan out to buy a vehicle or something, that's whatever rate we can negotiate.
All right. Is any of this increase going toward the principal of the debt? Are we paying this debt down or are we just paying interest?
No, we are paying the debt down. This isn't the exact number, but it's close. It's roughly $21,000 a month.
But we are paying on the principal of the debt.
Oh, absolutely. The payment schedule for that was for 40 years. And we couldn't do that without the Public Service Commission, analyzing our finances and rate structure to allow that improvement. I'm sorry. We can't take out those loans without the Public Service Commission having approved us to do that, given the rate structure at the time we did it and anticipated growth of the system.
My main concern is we are paying on the debt. We are bringing it down.
No, absolutely. It's 40-year loans, multiple loans.
I think the question is how many more loans are we looking to get into if we're already 32 million in debt? I believe there's a $6.5 million plan out there right now.
We are, at this point, we have nothing chiseled in stone as far as any kind of loans or grants in the pipeline. Right now, we're just waiting to see how this settles out and what we can do after that.
That comes out to be like $10,000 some per customer that's owed.
If you divide it into the number of customers, that might not be too far off. But again, it's a 40-year thing.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's no way to build these systems without incurring this debt.
That's not my concern. I understand it takes capital to do so. All right, but, I can't go keep putting stuff on my credit card. Okay.
Neither are we. Neither
You
are
know,
we.
I can't do that. All right, sooner or later, you'll come a credit card off or I'm gonna lose everything I got. Want it to go bankrupt. All right, so we have to have a way of structuring our debt that we can, that is feasible, that we can pay our debt. And I mean, it's common sense.
Well, the rate structure is basically set up to pay for maintenance and repairs, employee costs, upgrades as you need them. This thing's just like a car. You drive it for 10 years, it wears out, it needs a lot.
I'm aware of maintenance. I was a maintenance man for 15, 20
You
years.
understand.
I know about it. Okay, I know about electric motors. I know all that. Okay, I understand that you incur expenses. But I'm just saying, we have to structure that debt to where we can get it down, or you're going to be insolvent.
And this whole thing is geared, we didn't do it, it was done, by the Public Service Commission and, the lending agencies that basically they, work the payment structure out so that at the end of the 40 years, the whole thing's probably worn out and you start all over again.
So we'll never be out of debt.
Anybody that needs a sewer water plant is never gonna be out of debt because this is how they're paid for.
Okay, Dutch, you want to present your?
All right, so for those, whose phone's going? For those that can see the screen, I hope everybody can see the screen, because I got it zoomed about as big as I can without me being, with me sitting, you can see it on here. So this is actually the water and sewer rates, two separate charts. And I have them listed in the columns that there's a current and then what the Frankfurt PSD proposed. Figured out the half of what they proposed. And then I also come up with another one that basically is the same minimum bill. The minimum will stay the same. 2,000 gallons and less will be the exact same. However, if you use more than 2,000 gallons, it would go up to to the rates that they have proposed. But so, I'll explain it more here. So this here part is just the way that it works out currently with your water sewer. If there's a minimum 74.42, if you use 3,000 gallons, 4,000 gallons, 5,000 gallons or not. So here is their proposed increase. And again, I have the same minimum 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,000 gallons. So water rate, sewer rate, your total bill, and then the increase of, this is to be the increase off of the current bill. So of course, minimum, your bill will go up $10.80. If you use 8,000 gallons, your bill is going to go up $35.48. Do a half of a proposed increase, they'll roughly gain $300,000 a year. And you can see the increases there, how much the bill will increase.
I have a question. After my father clarified what the state auditor said, the original proposal was 20% on water and 10% on sewer roughly. Okay. Is that 20% going towards the water side and is that 10% going towards the sewer side? Or is it 20% being charged because there's more water customers so that they can help fund the ever failing wastewater?
I can't answer that.
Exactly.
I can. When money comes in, it's broken, every bill is broken down as it's posted. The part that goes to water, the part that goes to sewage.
Okay. Anyway, the other,
Please, because on one of their meetings, he took money out of the water operating system and took it over into the sewer system.
okay.
So he says he don't do that.
Well, we're here to talk about the rate increase.
Yes,
Okay? Not what they have done.
But that's the point. If the state auditor says you can't do that, what
Okay.
they've done.
Then I
So-
think that you need to go to one of their meetings and bring this up in their meeting.
we did.
We did that.
Why do you think we're here?
Because you don't want a rate increase.
No, that's not it.
We don't
That's
want a
not,
20% rate increase on the water, definitely.
Okay?
And that doesn't even make sense because the sewer is in debt twice as much as the water. So why would you raise the water rate twice as much as the sewer?
That's a question that they would have to answer.
They don't.
exactly.
So the other thing that I have proposed is keeping the minimum the same. You can see here, there'll be no increase. And then what the increase would be for each one, 3 through 8,000 gallons. This would generate roughly $225,000 rate increase, or $225,000 a year. I also have some other recommendations. I really think I am, in a personal opinion, I'm more concerned about the maintenance and the fire hydrants and stuff. I'd like to see the money used to increase the manpower, give the raises if they're appropriate. Use the extra manpower to work on the hydrant flushing, the testing and other maintenance. Cutting off part of my screen, I guess. Other maintenance needs, flushing hydrants helps to ensure that the hydrants are in working order, and it helps with the water quality by helping move the water from stagnant areas. The other recommendation would be taking better minutes of the meetings. Put as much as you can in the reserve funds. I'd also like to see them be a little more aggressive with buying radio read meters to replace the manual read readers. This would help improve their manpower. They currently use 2 people to read approximately 500 manual read meters. And probably taking a week or so to do that. If you go to radio read, I believe, in my opinion, that the radio reads can be done by one person and it can be done within a day or so. And that would free up one whole guy an entire week and would free up another one 3 or 4 days. Look into using WB Corp for insurance, West Virginia counties risk pool insurance. It's a risk pool. All the counties use are, I'm sorry, I take it back. 50 out of the 55 counties in the state use them. There's PSDs all over the state, as well as municipalities use WB Corp for insurance needs. I'd already given the contact to WB Corp, and I think they were to get a hold of Ray to get the information they need to provide a quote. I think they can provide a better quote than what you're getting from Erie.
Travelers.
That's Fountain, he uses Erie, got Fountain doing the same thing.
We use Travelers at this point because they specialize utilities.
Okay. And I would like to see the PSD without too much issue or without too much trouble from them, without creating too much manpower or time or whatever. They either report back monthly or quarterly to us and include in those reports the hydrants that are flushed or tested, the employees that are hired in their job duties. Any report, oh, I did have one there. I missed that part. I had that one there somewhere. Look into getting away from seriously explore eliminating the contract with Miller Environment. I know that it makes it a lot easier for them. I would really like for them to explore the price difference, and just because it takes a headache away, maybe not the best thing to do, but that's my opinion. So that's part of the report. I'd like to see a report on getting away from Miller Environmental, why or why not, and what you can do about that. The WB Corp status, insurance status, radio read meters that were installed. I think you need to report to the commission any large expenditures that's greater than $15,000, or we can discuss that amount amongst us commissioners. And then any major breaks or leaks or leaks, any issues, anything that goes with the large expenditure thing, I think. That is my suggestion. I am really leaning toward that rate structure myself. It helps to keep those that are only using the minimum or less than the minimum, which, as he said, roughly 30-some% of the people on the system. And that will keep their bills the same. And then it'll increase the higher people. Now, obviously, I think that down the road, obviously, there's going to be another rate increase somewhere down the road. I don't know that we want to tackle that now and set that ahead of time. I think we need to do something small and work with them to make the improvements that's needed. That's all that I have.
Can I give you another suggestion on this minimum? To lower it to 1,000 gallons? Because the way it is right now, you said you got these guys going around, checking the meter and everything. If there's bad weather or their machines don't work and it runs me over, say, 2 or 3 days over a regular month, which is, acceptable, bill will go past the minimum. And then next month, they would only have 28 days or 27 days on the bill. If you're using 3,000 gallons, you can make that up. But once you're hit with that 2,000 gallon minimum, I can shut my water off and I'm still gonna have to pay it. I can never, ever get that extra money back because they were late.
I seriously looked into lowering the minimum. I really did. And to do that, because of the amount of people that are, because of the 35% that are 2,000 gallons and less, the higher people is gonna have to pay more to cover that, or else they're gonna end up losing revenue. If you lower that minimum and you lower the amount for the minimum, then you gotta raise the higher amounts in order to cover that loss at the minimum. And then also, if they would go to radio read meters, that would eliminate that issue of them bad weather and stuff, not being able to read meters. They would be able to read the meters all the time.
Say something about there is a very definite fixed schedule for the meter reading, because meters have to be read at a certain time. It takes a certain amount of time to process. Bills have to go out specifically. So that schedule is followed absolutely as tightly as it can possibly be, because if we miss the 2 days like he's talking about, it isn't just him that happens to, it's everybody, and it is a mess. So we stay on that schedule unless there's some sort of horrible, nasty reason you get pushed off of it.
Good night, Seth.
Yes, sir.
I like a lot of your recommendations. A lot makes sense, but how do you hold them accountable to do that? I mean, it's just suggestions. So are they gonna follow through with any of that, or, are we just talking here?
They need to follow through, and I know the gentleman, and I trust them that they will do that.
Yes, sir.
In your figure in there about going to the radio readers, how much time they would free up? I mean, are you looking at it maybe freeing up enough time that they would not have to hire the other full-time employee, maybe a part-time employee? Or, would there still be enough work to justify with the radio readers, still enough work to justify another full-time employee?
I think there'll be enough work to justify that. And another thing, radio reads isn't gonna happen overnight. To put in 500 radio read, to buy them to begin with at $300 a piece.
It's a little more than that when you buy all the bits and pieces and the lid. Safe.
Yeah, you have to get lids too, because no, your lids have holes in them.
Yeah, but we drill some of those, some you can't get, so.
Yeah.
We have been in the program for, I don't want to say how many years, but a number of years of replacing meters with, and it's a ongoing process. We have a contract with our supplier, and we're still buying meters at the cost we bought it back 5 years ago. And it was done during construction. I'm not sure which one it was. It might have been a while before, but one of them, I honestly can't tell you the exact date. But here again, you're limited on what you can do. It's hard to change, it's hard to change meters in the wintertime. So you're looking at a summer
Yeah.
detail, you know what I mean, and along with regular maintenance, fixing leaks and everything else, it's just an ongoing process, and we are working towards that goal. What the whole system be.
I know you are. I just want to encourage you to push it up a little bit.
The ongoing plan has been to buy a case, which is 6 meters a month. And when the guys have a little time given there, that's when she sends them out to do stuff. Like on the hill where I live, that got done last summer. Took the whole summer to do it, but they did it. This has been a plan that's been in the works ever since we got radio reads in one of the projects, and part of it. It's a big money saver when we get it done.
But to answer your question, it's just gonna be a while for those radio reads get in there. So I don't know that you can put that into that figure right now.
Right, okay.
But I would imagine that they have enough work for all the mileage and line they have and the leaks and everything. And you got guys that honestly are working their fingers to the bone and being on call all the time, and they're really,
Well, like you said, flushing the hydrants.
so I really think there's enough work there.
Expedite would actually be a contract out to have a independent contractor change the meter.
change of meters.
Yeah, that would be to expedite everything. And here again, where do you get the money from?
Yep, exactly. I agree. I understand. I understand.
Would that be bid out and be non-family?
What's that?
Would that job be bid out and not be family members?
To change out the meters? It could be bidded out and go to the lowest bidder.
There we go. The county commission has the ability to change the PSD, basically SOPs, whatever they do every day. You have the right, fiduciary right, actually, to tell them you will do this, not I trust somebody. We see how far that's gotten us. We've gotten 32 million in debt. But you have the ability to say, no, you will do this. You will come back and see me. You will clear every bid that you get. You know, an emergency is an emergency. That means something needs fixed right now, not let's wait a month before we even bring it up to vote on it. That's not an emergency. You have that power. I think from the beginning, I'm not opposed to a rate increase. I understand that costs rise. What I was opposed to was the story changing. Was the fact that in the beginning, it was the reserve accounts needed funded. And then it changed. Because I'm the one that took the minutes. I know what it said. I remember what it said. I wrote it down while he was saying it. That is exactly what he said. And then you, Mr. Staggs, said that the reserve accounts could actually be used for other expenses. It's only supposed to be used in like dire emergencies. Like it is an emergency, but it's supposed to be refunded. So once that reserve account is funded, it's supposed to stay funded. That was the whole reason that they passed that law and got the general order in, was so that that would stay funded. So that, I mean, you were wrong on that. The money is not supposed to come out and just, you know, willy-nilly, we'll put it back in when we want to. That is not the case. There is a law that it pertains to that particular issue, but it just doesn't seem like the law seems to matter. The code that regulates this is 16-13A. Everything that the PSD is supposed to do is in there. When do you hold your elections? Is it October?
Elections for office.
For your officers,
First
October?
year,
Uh,
January.
no, your minutes say it was in October.
You just had election office.
Mhm.
Yes, we did.
There's so many things that there's discrepancies with.
So I believe the reserve funding, if they can go through the Public Service Commission and get that reserve funding and used for different things with the approval of the Public Service Commission.
No, you can't. I have it here. I think my main thing is that this was too much in the beginning. It was entirely too much. RK&K on their website even says the challenge of obtaining adequate funding while maintaining affordable user rate within any single fiscal year became apparent early in the design process. They are bragging about the fact that we got in over our head on their own website. What sense does that make? That is not something good. That is something bad. On this, on what you're talking about, I'm pretty sure I was right. Will not condone the use of the accumulated funds intended for extraordinary and non-recurring expenditures for ongoing normal operating and capital expenditures. So no, I'm sorry, you're wrong. You cannot use that money for other issues.
Yes, sir.
Can I say another
Yes, sir.
speak? I'm gonna take a couple minutes. I have not spoken at any of these public meetings. I am the chairman of the PSD board. I don't know if anybody knows that here or anybody cares. But ever since this has started, people's question, how do you get $32 million in debt? I want to give you a brief history of the PSD, and I will not take much more of your time. And I don't have exact dates, what year, what month, nothing like that. And I'm not an accountant. I worked my whole life in construction. But I'll guarantee you one thing. I know how to build a sewage treatment plant. I know how to build a water treatment plant. And I know how to put a piece of pipe in the ground and maintain it. So for somebody to say that the county commissioners is at fault here because they appointed adequate people to run the board. It's nothing but slander and misinformation. It actually, that is not why we're here. But getting back to what I first started to say, several years ago, we was a water couple, period. First expansion that I was involved in was when they built Frankfurt High School and they needed to get more water into our area. At that time, they designed the water line to come through down Dobby Road, pick all them customers up, build the Baker Holler tank, and expand the Fort Ashby water treatment plant. That wasn't free. We had to borrow money to do that. That's a part of $32 million. Several years later, health department comes to us and says, you know what? You've got 8 to 9 failing sewage systems in your community. Connell's Addition, Nobley Estates, Milk Mortgage Charter Court, Graceland, Mount Leavenworth, just to name a few. And they said to us, we want you to look into the possibility of putting a sewer system in your community. If not, people, these individual homeowners associations are going to have to take loans at a bank. And it's going to cost them a lot more money than what it costs a PSD to do it. We discussed it. We had public meetings. In any loan that we've had public meetings. And if people didn't come, express their opinions, you do it. You know, and we built a sewage treatment plant in the Powers Creek area. We put pump stations in, miles and miles and miles and miles of sewers and manholes. And I remember when I was a kid, or even when I was an early adult, riding through the Short Gap area past the Woodland Inn and smelling sewage in the side ditches. It was an improvement to the community. Our sewage treatment plants cost around $14–15 million. The lines cost pretty much, it was almost a $28 million project. We go through that. And then they come back to us and said, you know what? The town of Wally Ford is dumping raw sewage in the Potomac River. And they was. We need to correct that. So who did they come to correct us? The PSD. Again, that's for part of a $32 million loan. They come to us and said, we need water in Wally Ford. The biggest line they had in Wally Ford at that time was a 4-inch line and was galvanized. Correct myself. They had one line that ran from the city up to the airport. It was 6 or 8 inches high, I don't remember. So we embarked on that part contract. Everything we did has been for the improvement of that end of the county. And if anybody can tell me that they cannot ride through our area of the county and see a fire hydrant or see roads that was paved because of the PSD, shame on you. You got a fire hydrant, that's lowered your insurance coverage. Your sewage, even though at times it may be a spill or maybe spilled, it's being treated and it's going into where it's supposed to go. It's not running out of ground through people's septic tanks, failed septic tanks. It just amazes me. This started out as a simple rate increase. What we thought we needed. And we've asked the county commissioners, we've presented documents and everything to the county commissioners. And that's where it's at. We've come to meetings, we've had people badger our employees, the board, people more community. And it just frustrates me. It really does. I've been on the board for almost 25 years. My father started the Franklin PSD board. I remember when I was a kid, sitting in the face of my mom and dad's house, them doing the meetings. My mom used to bake cookies, that's why they come to my house, I think, but anyway, but it's. So I'm saying, as a chairman of the PSD board, Lord, it's your mercy. We work for you all. We do what you tell us to do and ask us to do. There's been many times that you have came to us asking, well, could you possibly take over this system or possibly do this and do that? And we've always tried to be there for you. And now all this has to stop, and it has to, a decision needs to be made. We're willing to accept a rate increase that the county commissioners recommend. And we will do everything within our power to live with it and see where it goes. Thank you.
I've got one comment to make, and I want everybody to listen to this. Listen, this has been on my mind every day, and I'm not exaggerating. I have talked to people in other counties. I have talked to Charleston PSC. I have talked to Region 8, and I've talked to people here in Mineral County that knows what they're talking about. And I have come down to one decision here. They've got to, well, not just one, but they've got to be some money. They have got to be some money to go into reserve. Because from my understanding, and I've got this from two different places, if there's not some money there, and that tank over above Donview goes down, and you guys know exactly what I'm saying, somebody's got a problem. And you know who the problem's gonna be? People's receiving water from that. You're gonna have a problem. Am I right?
Absolutely.
So, and I'm not, I tell you what I'd like to do. I would like to vote for what you guys want. Do you want a half a proposal like Dutch brought up? Or do you want the full proposal? How much do you want to go into the reserve account? They should be a little bit go in there. I'm not saying all of it, but they should be some go in there, because I'm telling you, I was told today, if there's not money in the reserve and that tank goes down, you're gonna play hard getting any money. I'm telling you, that's what I was told today. Yes, ma'am.
I think from the beginning, we've asked for transparency.
I know.
And, you know, we got snide remarks about, we're gonna come to our meetings. Their meetings were supposed to be held, I think it's the second Monday of every month. 9 out of 12 months, it's not. It is. The other 3, it's not. So when they don't even follow their own rules, how are we supposed to become a part of it, to understand what's going on? You all put your minutes on YouTube so everybody can see what's going on. We asked that from the county commission. You know, can we get in, go see? So I went and I saw the minutes. What do I find? I find the same month, the same day, different minutes, completely different. It's the same date.
Well,
Several times. So this is, I think is our thing, is we wanted transparency. People want to know where the money was going. You want the reserve count filled? The
it's gonna take
PSC,
some time.
the
It needs to be.
PSC has a general order that allows for a surcharge specifically for the reserve.
I know that. I've been through all that. I've
Can they not apply for that?
and well, yes, they can. There's a lot, and Jason brought it up to me the other day. I didn't know, I don't have city water or city sewer, but Jason brought up City of Kaiser just imposed how much?
Well, it took them 3 years. It was a 3-year tier, but it was 25% rate increase.
No, I'm talking about the reserve.
I don't know what the reserve
I thought you
was.
said it was $2 or something.
Oh, no, they have a service fee,
Service fee.
to 280 something, but
And down in Martinsburg, got a good friend that lives down there. And they have $2 and something a month added to their bill. It goes in to it's a fee that goes into the reserve. There's a lot of, that's what he told me. I don't know other than his word.
We would be fine with the reserve fund because the reserve fund not only guarantees that if something breaks, that there's money to go use it, but it also guarantees that they're not using it for other things in the company, which apparently is going on now, because we're
Well,
down to $20,000 a
That
day.
reserve, from my understanding, is used for emergencies. They can use that for emergencies.
Exactly, a true emergency, not,
Well, I don't know what they determine as emergency. I
PSC
can't- we don't run
determines
that 'cause
that.
I don't know. But anyway, I'm gonna ask you, the citizen, what do you want?
Half,
Which one of these bills do you want? Which one of
Half.
these proposed increases do you want?
half and follow the state auditor's suggestion that you don't mix your money. If you need 20% for the water side, then that's fine, knock it down to 10%, but keep the money on that side. You have 700 water people who are paying for a sewer that they don't even have.
If you do the half, how much of that, did you have anything earmarked for reserves, a certain percentage? Or would it be,
I didn't have anything earmarked.
okay,
To me, it was to get the employees, get that basic structure and take care of your maintenance side, and then whatever's left needs to go in.
I mean, that's like Mr. Logan said, the most important thing is the reserves, getting the reserves built back up. So even if it's a 0.5%, the main focus needs to be getting, the reserves. So,
Everybody that I have spoke with stresses on the reserve.
You gotta have
And
a
I'm not,
savings.
I mean, that's the way it is.
You have to have a savings account, but I think if you still have a sieve where the money's going out,
I know.
when's it
That's
gonna
true.
end?
At the risk of maybe making this worse, I don't know.
You can.
Excuse me, my voice is a little rough. I understand what they're saying about they don't want to see money taken out of the reserves. When we take money out of a specific reserve, be it the water side or the sewer side, we start making payments back immediately to that. Do we randomly just switch money back and forth between the water and sewer reserve? No, we don't. We keep that accounting very separate. And anytime that we're audited, this is a very clear thing for the auditors to follow, that we're making payments back with as much money as we can in any given month. It's not just some wild thing where we're grabbing money from reserves and throwing it at things without accounting. It's actually tracked.
in short gap, you said you do that all the time.
That was a poor choice of words on my part.
Okay, well, I don't think we're gonna get any place by keeping on discussing this, so and you said you're in favor of the half proposed.
He said that.
Oh, you said that.
Not a big problem.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm in favor of going with the PSC order because it highly restricts what they can use it for, and then they monitor it. And then it comes off of your plate. You don't have to deal with that part of it.
Trust me. I don't mind. This is.
But we
kept me
have,
Up at nights dealing with this stuff.
we have to stop the spending.
I
I mean,
understand
now
that.
we're getting into more projects when we're already this far.
But I
ahead.
will say this, in defense of the PSD. I don't know how much stuff you have purchased pipe wise and building that plant, and listen, that's not cheap.
I'm not saying that it is, but what I'm
It's-
saying is,
I forget what.
should we be burying more pipe for more customers when we're already this far in debt? Should we
Well-
be planning on, I mean, these aren't maintenance things, these are new people. Do we have the funding to even go into that? If it's not cost effective, then we shouldn't be doing these
I
things.
forget what, RK&K told me that it cost to lay 1 foot of pipe. Do you remember? Was it $50 a foot they figured?
The number that sticks in my head is $55.
I know it was 50-some dollars a foot. I couldn't remember the exact number. Do you think about it?
We have 69 miles of it.
I was gonna say, I rode down through there here not long ago, and I thought about it, and I don't know where all your line goes. But it's a long ways from Fort Ashby to Valley Fort. It's a long ways.
Not to mention the distance we've looked all of.
Well, and there and off roads and, I mean, it's 69 miles is what you got.
That's the engineering statement. I would guess there's actually more of that in it that they didn't know about when they come up with that number.
But I know they're gonna have money, so I'm gonna ask you. I wanna put this in your lap, because you're the people that's getting the benefit.
hey, can you bring that chart back up again? The one you had, the 0.5% that were discussed.
Well, you want to give me a minute, we'll figure that all out.
Miss Jennifer, the rate that they propose is what you're saying because there'll be more accountability. Is that what I heard you say? The rate that they proposed is what you said you would go with as long as the accountability is there.
No, I said, they said,
I just want to make sure I'm understanding.
all what the state auditor says.
Yeah.
Like, you can't mix funds.
Right,
So do we really need 20% on the water side?
okay.
Do we really need 10% on the sewer, or is it vice versa? Is it we need 20% on the sewer, but you got less customers? Figure it out.
You gotta look at operating costs, what it costs to operate a water system compared to sewer system, that's what rates are based on, among other things.
I'm asking about what the increase was based on.
I'm just saying, I just told you part of it.
I say, if you can't find it, it's okay. My question was you had the total increase. But were you factoring in part of that as water and part of it as sewer? And how did you come up, or like, what were your percentages
What do you mean the total?
with your 0.5% increase?
I think you just cut it
You
down.
talking about the whole revenue?
Yeah, like, where you had, on the 0.5%, like for the 3,000 gallons,
Yeah.
what the total increase was gonna be. It was still part of that was water and part of it was sewer.
Yes.
Okay.
It wasn't 0.5%, it was half of what they're proposed.
Okay, so exactly. Okay, I got it. I see now, yeah. Half of what they were proposing, okay.
But that's the question. Do they need that much on each side? Or are their numbers skewed because they intermingle the funds, which the state auditor says we're not supposed to do? So that is the only reason we were saying, hey, maybe we should take another look at this, because now we've determined that we're doing things erroneously, illegally.
Well, I'm gonna call the auditor's office and talk to them tomorrow. I wished I'd have known this yesterday. I would have brought this up down in Martinsburg when I was there. But I didn't realize it. I didn't know. So, but I will find out.
You do keep track of that, how much you loan to sewer, and so
Yeah,
forth.
that's carried in the books. That's
Do you
never
loan?
been- Huh?
Do you loan it or
It would
do
be
you
a
just?
loan.
Basically, we loan money from one side
The other.
to the other. If the particular side doesn't have enough money in the reserves to do what we need to do, we loan from the other side. And then we start making payments back, routinely $2,000 a month.
Then how did we only wind up with $20,000 in the total account? If we're paying it back when it's being used.
Well, $20,000 was in the reserve.
Right, but he's saying in the reserve account that when they take it out, that they put it back. Somewhere, somebody didn't put it back.
Well, but
There's never been anything our accountants have ever found.
yeah,
Do you have a reserve side for sewer and a reserve side for water?
Is that where you take the money from?
What's that?
Is that where you're taking the money from when you borrow from one side to the other?
Yeah, correct.
You are taking it from the reserve account.
That's our first line of funding when we have a big hit. Yeah, operation and maintenance.
There's different reserve accounts.
Well, that is a different reason.
So I was just taking the money out of like just normal operations account and that kind of thing, not the reserves.
No,
For the loans.
if there's enough money in those accounts, we do that. But if we get hit with something particularly big, then we will take it out of one of the reserve accounts that you're talking about, the ones that we're short of funding for. And then we pay it back, in payments, as the income warrants that.
yeah. But I would like to see a little bit go into the reserve. I don't know. I know,
We actually do that every month when we,
I mean, I'd like to see, that's what I was hoping to see is a little, not a lot. I'm not talking $10 a month. I'm not talking that. A little bit to specifically set aside for the reserve, because I'm afraid, and I'm being honest with you. The way I've thought about this and the people that I have talked to, and I've talked to a lot of people about this. If that tank goes, you're gonna have a problem.
well,
Cause I don't know if you're gonna get the money real quick.
to back something up historically, just a little bit. They built a new school in Short Gap.
Right.
Zero communication between the school board and us. All of a sudden, we find out that they're building the school and we can't provide fire protection for them because they never contacted us and did the engineering. If it hadn't been for the gift from you guys 2 years before that of the COVID money that was
Right.
distributed, the $500,000 that it cost to upgrade a pump station and some of the control system to get an adequate supply of water for the fire system there wouldn't be any kids in that school right now. Because I don't know where we got the $500,000.
So I'm gonna go back again. What do you want? Which proposed rate do you want? You tell me and that's the one I'll vote for.
What, 15% overall?
It's 10 and 5, correct?
Wait, just hold on a second. I'm going with what the state auditor said, okay? If the state auditor says that it has to be according to the exact account, okay? If the money has to go into sewer or it has to go into water, their original thing was like 15% or 14.65%. Do half of that. Do half of that and then figure out where it's supposed to go. If there's only supposed to be 2% to the water and the rest is supposed to go to sewer, then fine. But you keep commingling the money and robbing Peter to pay Paul, and you wonder why we're gonna get audited.
You got something?
If we're so far out of whack, what would bother me would be that the independent auditors that audit us every year, that basically tear our books apart, and these aren't people that are local, these are separate from the auditors we use, don't find that we're not in compliance with everything. So, I understand what she's asking, and, there isn't any evidence of that our auditors have ever found. We're not purposely, misdirecting money. We're just trying to run the system on the money that we have coming in.
Does the state auditor go through your books then?
What's that?
Does the state auditor go through your books?
After the auditing firm that, they're based in Mortgage, their name escaped me at this second. After they get through, that all gets submitted to the state, and the state reviews it and, makes any comments if there are any. Usually there aren't.
State Public Service Commission?
It goes to
State auditor.
the State Public Service Commission gets it, and whatever they do with it at that point.
But what, Stag, you said, like the hiring an employee and all this, it's gonna be divided, just like their PSC report is, as to whether it's water or sewer. So where is the increase needed, is what I'm asking. Because you have 700 more people on the water than you have on the sewer. So if all the money is going to sewer, then why are you raising the water?
We have the same increases on both sides of this thing in costs that the general public is experiencing in their day-to-day living costs. All of our equipment, our supplies, chemicals, laboratory stuff, that all goes up on both sides of this thing, and there's as much laboratory cost on one side as there is on the other. Not only does your drinking water have to be good, but the water that you treat and put back into the creek has to be good.
Well, he obviously thinks that's viable, so I'll go for it.
The half.
A half.
Anybody? Yes, sir.
So in 2024, there was an 8% rate increase. Now they're asking for 15. And Dutch already said with his proposal, there's gonna have to be another rate increase at some point. Is this gonna continue just
I can't.
year? Well, obviously, I mean, the ball's rolling.
Well, just like any utility, your costs go up, your employee cost, everything goes up. You're gonna have to raise every so often to begin with. I mean, I think he even said Kaiser was looking at putting a constant 1 or 2% raise every year.
Yeah.
So, that's an option too.
Yeah, it's like 15 years. That's what I'm saying. Like this If they have met your standards of accountability and good business practices, then vote the way you see fit. But I don't think it's fair that the county commissioners who are responsible for the governance put it back on the constituents to say, well, you said it, because then you're just gonna come back to us and say, this is what needs to be. I think you all should evaluate and process the need and vote that way, and then let us decide how we vote.
This also goes back to the PSC, Public Service Commission. 3 or 4 years ago, they voted that after a PSD reaches a certain point, they want the commission to make the rate increases or decided they submitted. And I don't know why they did that, because every other public utility goes through them for rate increases. It's just after it gets to a certain size.
Right.
It's really not fair to us because we don't have the engineers or the accountants and stuff to look through everything. So we're trying to make a decision based off of everything that I've researched and looked at. And so I've been through the books. I got 5 years. I looked at the public service records, 5 years, everything lines up. I don't see any improprieties in all of this. But I know we have to do a rate increase, because if we don't, then it's going to go Public Service Commission can say, we're going to take over this. And then they'll sell it to West Virginia American or whatever.
Yeah.
As I've been calling different people, then we're really in trouble in the north end of the county if it continues down that path.
So we're already looking at that coming. Okay, we are concerned about that
Yeah.
happening. So what we have continuously said is stop the expansion. I understand you want more customers. I understand you want to fund this stuff, but stop it. We got Wally Ford with continuous leaks. It's all over their minutes. Wally Ford's leaking. The tank's down to 15%, I think it was. You know, they're gonna have to buy water now. Stop the expansion and fix what we have. Make us worthy, you know, that we have decent stuff, and stop expanding and spending more money.
What do you mean stop expanding? There's no expansion.
There's proposals in their minutes to go out the rest of Nobley Road.
Yeah, there is. But did you also read the minutes that was put on hold? Did you skip that thing?
I figured it was put on hold till after the rate increase.
To see what our finances are going to be. And
So where's our money
let me
going?
ask you a question. When we propose a project, it's serving people in our district, our neighbors that does not have water. They might be on a well, be on a bad well. We send a survey out to each individual home. And if there's 50 customers, if only 5 people sign up for it, we don't do expansion. But if there's 50 people there and 50 people needs our water, it's our duty as a public service commission, as a committee. I think it's our duty to try to get them water. Am I wrong?
No, I think you're 100% right. I wished you was over in my area because I'd love for you to expand up.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we don't go in there, the only thing we tell people, if there's a sewer line in the state mandates, you gotta hook up to it. If we run a water line by your house, you don't have to hook up, stay on your well. But I'm just saying, we're not forcing nothing on nobody. And we do no expansions, no improvements unless the people that's involved need water. And the people on Dolly Road need water.
Is that the same for the sewer? Because you have some sewer only customers out in Albany Road that have working wells that didn't want the sewer, but yet they had to.
You can't have no choice. If the
Well,
sewer line goes by your house, you gotta
If
come
you're
in.
within, there was a judge ruling on that. I'm not sure.
300 feet and you can be served by gravity.
The judge ruling on that was 250 feet. Cause I got into that with Newcrest PSD, their sewer plant up there,
Yes.
because that's, I think I told.
No, we have
Sorry, I
some-
might have told you.
That's,
I don't know if I did.
Thomas, but we do not make.
But, there was a judge made a ruling on that. If a sewer goes within 250 feet of your house, if you don't hook up to it, that's not county, that's PSC.
You still have to pay the sewer bill if it's.
You gotta pay it.
When we say-
But what I'm saying is like the sewer ended here and then they expanded the sewer. These people didn't want to, they had working septic tanks.
No, they didn't, they expanded all the way out Nolly Road. It wasn't just a certain place where it was and they expanded to include these people that didn't have water. That was part of that project back in the 1670s. And there was some failing septic systems out there. But whenever they're talking about a project, keep in mind that if they're just talking about a project in a meeting and it's the very beginning and they wanna, and they're looking into it, they probably have a customer that wants to get water, somebody that's came to them and wanted to get water. And also keep in mind that it's gonna be probably 4 years at least before they even get pipe in the ground. Cause there is so much red tape and so much to go through to get to that point. It isn't like somebody needs water, okay, let's put it forth, and 2 months later down the road, you're putting water pipe in the ground. It just doesn't happen like that.
One crazy little thing that you don't think of. If we have to cross a stream, whether it's a dry stream or not, if there's water that runs into it, we have to have an Army Corps of Engineers permit to do that.
Yep. Oh, I know, I'm very familiar with that.
Yeah. I'd like to address something that she brought up, talking about taking care of pipes in the ground and the leak in Wiley Ford and whatnot. Wiley Ford's actually one of the relatively newer systems around, and does it have leaks? Every system has leaks. Do we fix them as promptly as we can? We do. That's one of the reasons why we have people checking pump stations and tank levels all the time. So we can catch this before it gets out of control.
Where you at there?
Yeah, but all I was gonna say was like, you know, if you do an expansion in that aspect, and you go out now and you get more customers, that's more customers, that's more revenue coming in. So yes, it's an expense, but it's also revenue.
Correct.
And so, you know, I think we need to look at both sides of the point. But my personal opinion, I think we as the people need to understand that we don't live in a perfect world and vice versa. You guys need to understand that, you know, people don't like to have to pay more. You know, I don't want to pay more for nothing.
I don't either.
You know, and if I can ever get something turned around the other way, I love it. You know, if I could save money, something, I love it. And at least my opinion of what we're doing here is we're coming to you guys, not to say, you're doing a lousy job. You know, if you are, there's probably not really that much that I can do about it, except to come alongside of you, say, hey, if you need me for anything, you need me to help out, let me know. And I think that that's more of what we need to do in our community. We need to talk civilly to each other and say, hey, let's figure out. You know, one of the things that I see is that I think it's really strange that we're spending a lot of money on an outfit in Hagerstown to repair pumps when there was one in Fort Ashby. You know, I question the wisdom of that, but I'll let it go at that. You know, I just simply, it doesn't make sense to me. So I'm done.
Now, I do have a question for PSD. I don't know if you have an answer to this, but if the amount that you asked for, proposed increase would have been $600,000 a year, correct? That's, how much of that was you planning on putting into reserve? Or did you ever think of that?
The intent from our accountant was to go back to the prescribed percentage that that mandate from the government states. So once we started getting the additional money, and we would go back to the
So what's
12.8%.
Yeah, 12.5%.
Or 12.5%, pardon me.
So if you would get 300,000, 12.5% of that, that's half proposal would go into, because I'm concerned about that, because the people I have talked to,
35,000 would go into reserves.
A year.
At 300,000 would only be 35,000
A
of
year,
that 12%
a
a
year.
year.
Yeah.
At 600, it would be 75,000.
Yeah, correct. That's,
Where?
cause I'm afraid from who I've talked to, and I've been all over. I've talked to a lot of people about this. I don't want that tank to go, you can't get a loan to. I don't want that, cause it's gonna hurt the people down there.
I'm in agreement with what you're saying from the point of view that it isn't just that tanker. We've got half a county of equipment. That could be a problem.
That could be a problem.
And, so far, we've made the whole thing work. Our fallback traditionally has been, we've been able to get, grants and some additional funding. That's all dried up. We just
Right,
can't get that. So we're on our own with this.
so you people are good. Now, you know, this is probably gonna come up again. In a year or two, I don't know when. But so you're accepting the half of the proposed rate? I'm asking you, you tell me what you want me to vote for.
Now, that's a combined raise of over 7%, which is twice the inflation rate.
I'll tell you what I'm gonna do for you. And I'm being honest with you.
Okay,
I wanna serve and I wanna do what the people want.
now don't you go up there and push that tank over and say,
I don't do that. I don't bother. I don't even know exactly where it's located, I'll be honest with you. But I'm gonna make a motion that we go with the half proposed increase. And then they can look at this later, if they need more. Is that all right with you guys too?
Are you talking like half now, half in a year?
Well, I see, we'll have to come back and address that in a year.
he's offering a half of the shit.
Half of the rate that you asked for, 10 and 5.
Half
I keep on saying. I mean, this way, I'm hoping, and I mean this, I'm hoping that this will. I don't want, listen, there's nobody in this room tighter than what I am. I'm telling you right now, don't laugh, Kurt.
That's right.
But I don't like to spend money at all, I don't like.
You're next, Kurt. Maybe.
But I know, I see a need, but also would.
How you would appease the community is more transparency. Put your minutes on
Okay,
the website, put your hours on the website. They don't even have that posted, like what days they're open.
can you,
That kind of stuff needs to be out there.
okay, yes, sir.
I have an odd question. So if the tank goes, how much would you need in the reserve account to be able to get the loan you will need?
I don't know them, I don't know,
Depends on what kind of mood the IJDC's in.
yeah.
Yeah, that's, the IJDC, that's an interesting thing to go through if you're trying to get funding.
Well, what would be like worst case, best case? I mean, even if it's a rough number.
It's hard
But to build a new tank, we're looking at anywhere from 1.5 million to 1.7 million to build a tank.
Today, a year from now,
It could be two,
it could be two, could be 2.25.
yeah.
What the ideal solution for this would be is first we acquire the land. Then we do the engineering and then you can start putting some real costs together, but we can't do any of that today.
The engineering cost alone would be about 75,000. But somewhere in there.
Oh, it's,
More than that.
15%.
yeah,
15%.
Yes.
That's all right, I didn't mean, if you were getting ready to talk. So what Mr. Whitlock came up with the half the increase, 35,000 a year would be going into the reserves, is what you're coming up with. I mean, is that adequate?
Not really.
Not really.
Not really.
Yeah. No, just started.
that just depends on whether we have any big problems.
Exactly, I'll be honest with you, what did you say, 600,000? It's probably 70,000?
75,000.
75,000, 12.5%, how many years are you looking at? To get to 12.5% of your,
10 years.
there you go. So no, even a 600,000 is not gonna get you there and the speeds that's needed.
They currently paying some back to that?
A little bit, I think, yes, they
Yes, you
said,
make
I don't know
payments
how
back.
much, but
You
yeah.
make payments back.
But I wanna ask, is the PSDs happy with half of what you asked for?
I would accept that.
What do you got? And I want to say one more thing, clear something up. I'm just asking you, could you be more transparent with these people? I know.
I'll tell you what I would be happy to do. I don't think that these folks are our enemies.
I don't think they are either. I understand some of your concerns.
I don't think they understand completely the scope of what they do. And, I would be happy to take them on a tour of what we have so that they can see it and understand where this money's actually spent and what it takes to do it.
I don't
do
have
that
the
personally.
time, but I would like to see the minutes posted. And I recommend Mr. Moreland to do the minutes because he takes exceptional minutes. Exceptional.
And I know we're not supposed to address this tonight, but I'm going to address, I know you put a letter in and I've talked to them about this. And we're not saying no, but we're not saying yes right now. We want to wait and see because they would like to get back the 3 members. Am I correct?
If that's what you fellas feel that, is the appropriate way for us to operate this.
Well, PSC, they kind of push 3 or 5. Is what they push.
But we merged. Once we merged, we became 5 members. That's
You don't have to stay 5 members.
That was the deal with, we could not merge without being 5 members.
Okay.
They took half.
But today, right now, today, at this exact moment, we are in violation of the law. Because anytime you have a vacancy, it must be filled. It must be filled. You have 30 days to let the county commission know. You have 1 year to get it filled. And it's been 2.5 years now.
I didn't realize that.
There is a vacancy.
Doesn't say that.
Yes, it does.
How many of that did you back? Just one?
Yeah.
But, okay, well, we've only got one letter to put that on the agenda.
It's this.
Oh, is it? Yes, sir.
I got a little bit of a question here about their intent. They've been short of members since May of 2023.
23.
So if they wanted to drop back 3 members, then the time to do that would have been when they reappointed a member in June of this past year. I would think so. So why is it the intent now? It kind of makes it look like to me that maybe somebody doesn't want me on the board.
Yes.
I don't know about that.
But I don't know either. I'm just saying that when you look at it, if you were down to 4, time to drop to 3, would have been before you appointed that man back.
I'm going to be very honest with you, sir, Mr. Largen. After the last 11 years, I don't ever want to see another board after this.
Don't either. I'd like to sit home and enjoy my
Yes,
retirement,
sir.
but I think there needs to be some changes. I think I would like to help the community
I
out.
agree with you. Yes.
Any vacancy shall be filled for the unexpired term within 30 days.
Okay, well,
And that would have been June of 2023. So what I'm saying is right now, even if you change it tomorrow, right now you're in violation.
Well, we're gonna address that Tuesday at a regular commission meeting because it's not on the agenda.
It's not, but
It's on Tuesday.
it's on Tuesday.
Tuesday's agenda, so we're gonna
It's on
address it,
Tuesday.
okay? So. Okay, I'll make the motion in.
Yeah, Roger made a motion.
Like I asked something before you do that.
Yes, sir.
If we're going to do half. And we put some sort of time period on the other half. So that we don't drag that out forever.
We didn't agree to the other half. We said what is needed. He's stating that we're not happy with the transparency we have now, the accountability that we have now, the excuses that we have now, the changes that we have now. So we are willing to compromise at half of the rate increase. This doesn't say that you're gonna get the other half. In no way does it say you're gonna get the other half.
Start all over.
We'll have to start all over again.
It's expensive.
I mean, like, what about, do the half, and we know that sooner or later, there is gonna be more increases. But the idea of, like you said, Kaiser did, don't do it all at one time. Do a 0.5% a year. you know, or,
It was a 25% rate increase, but they did it over 3 years. That in Kaiser, now. they're not-
where people don't feel it all at one
Right.
time, you know, do it, further down the road when the other increase is needed, revisit it in a different fashion, or you're not hitting people with it all at one
That
time.
might be something you might want to consider the next time is down
The
the
step
road.
raise,
A step
we
raise.
talked about that this time. We had never done that before, so we went with the format we've always used. I would like to answer something that she brought up. She may be finding a different section in the rules and regulations that may or may not govern us, I don't know. But I myself read the directive that came from the Public Service Commission to us, and it said may be 3 to 5 members. It didn't say specifically. So at the time that we didn't add a 5th member back in, that was the information that we were going under, and say that we're in violation.
Sir, I have something from the PSC today. Nathan Nelson from the PSC in Charleston contacted me today. Said he contacted the Frankfurt PSD and also stated that he contacted the county commission to let them know that they are in violation of 16-13A and that position must be filled. I have his contact information if you'd like me to forward the email.
I never received anything from them, but it's not saying it's not out there.
Nathan Nelson from the PSC in Charleston. He said he did call
I have
the
emails from
office.
Nathan Lee, Nathan Healy. I don't have anybody and I have not received any calls. No.
Okay,
13-13-3,
16-13A.
13A.
Yeah.
13-day what?
That's the whole list of codes. There's a
It's
big line, big list of things.
pages, it's not that hard.
Okay.
13A3. That helps.
I thought they was a 3. Okay. All right, so the motion is for. I made the motion for a half a proposal. That's what the citizens want. And the PSD is good for that. Now, this is gonna be probably, I don't know when, I can't tell you when, but probably within a year, we're gonna be looking at something else. Maybe a step increase. So, do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
When can read, but the rate increase in effect.
I approve that also. And how soon does that go in effect?
I don't know.
Routinely, how we have done rate increases is we have set them up so that they start with our fiscal year, which is the first of July.
So this increase would go in effect July 1. But you
I would
need,
hate it, I would hate it to wait that long, this particular.
well, that's what I'm, with them tanks, I understand that.
I would ideally like to see this go into effect.
As far
The
as
billing period of March.
Lord, I was getting ready to say, as far as billing cycles, so if you want to go in effect March 1st.
I make a motion.
If it went into effect March 1st, that would cover the water usage in February. Is that what you're saying, Doug?
No, I would, it'll be for the month of March,
Okay, so then the
Which would
water
be
usage in March.
which wouldn't be on until the April 1st.
So when the customers get their April bills,
It will be.
it'll be on
I
there.
can
Yes.
live with that.
Okay.
I have a question about this though.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there any, and I don't know, I'll have to look. Is there any state code violation if you started before your fiscal year?
I can't, I don't know.
I would have to ask
Is
our
there?
accountant.
No.
Okay,
You're
I
welcome.
just wanted to put it out there because I know that was something.
I ask you to amend your vote that
So, just wanted to make sure.
we adjusted. If it turns out that it's a violation with any kind of state law, then we would adjust it to go to
July 1.
July 1st.
Okay, now, so you want to know if there's.
That's all I wanted
if
to
we
know.
Move that up.
She's right asking
Say,
that.
it would be.
Because we'll be right back here
if we do
doing
that
this
up-
again, if
okay.
we don't know,
She's right.
right?
You amend your motion, Ryan?
Yes. Yes. But if this is against. it,
I'm looking,
You gonna look into
looking
this?
as well.
Yes.
But you amended his motion to say what?
Well, it's going to affect the March billing, which is the April bill, but unless it's a violation, start prior to the fiscal year, then it'll start July 1.
Sure. And you seconded, you're in favor of it, correct? Yep. Okay,
That's a unanimous vote, as I
Yes, sir.
see it.
thank you.
And thank you.
I feel for both sides, because I know what it costs. I'm getting ready to do something now that I'm dreading it at my house, but it's gonna cost me some money, but what, I don't have a choice. I have no choice.
You folks have just spent a pile of money on the upgrades here.
Huh?
You just spent a pile of money on all the upgrades around here.
I know, you tell me about it.
Okay.
And you know that, all that money, Jerry, all that money that we spent on the upgrades, I didn't please everybody. Of course it didn't. You're not gonna please everybody.
I know it didn't.
But, yes.
You got a quick turn. Good.
I mean, I have to do something. Jerry? I'm gonna do something tonight, and we're going to get to this school on this coach.
That's fine.
You have. You don't want someone. I'm going to talk to the war side. I'm going to do for you. I'm gonna take.
Yes.
What I need.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, thank you, that, I like the fourth part.
Yeah, mine.
I didn't tell you guys we had lost it.
You have.
Well, I don't have any
Help me.
higher
I
marks.
wasn't sure I was gonna be able to do it all. so.
What kind of?
They go.
It addresses both sides. That's not very big. You haven't got. You gotta use it.
Yeah.
If inflation drops, the choice is kind of inflation. I don't think,
She works for New Creek Sewer.
Oh, okay. Okay.
She does, just filling. And it's.
You're fine. No, Marshall was never gonna go off. Okay. Oh, good.
Let's find a impropriety on our.
Well, that's something else this is something else I'd like to address. I know that's a problem. People's good to me.
100%.
Yeah, I'm good till I got.
Hey, Hey, I should address this. I apologize.
Yeah, I mean.
Everything that
This, I will do double.
I did not see no wrongdoing. 7 years. I'll put that away, that ain't work. Okay.
I'll forward you the email that I sent.
Well, email does make something.
No, not saying that it's wrong. I'm just saying, when you ask for transparency,
I understand.
I say, Joe. Hey, yeah, they, don't work like this.
They all by the
They don't show.
Anything you have.
That's what you have dogs for.
So, I'm just saying it to
we're
you.
just not comfortable being that far and that we understand.
Well,
And
I get it.
that's, yeah, I mean, when Arcane K puts on their webpage and they brag about how far the spending wasn't gonna be covered, that's just.
You might know my wife.
Listen, you don't do nothing.
She was.
No, and we're not expecting that.
It's crazy, Art.
But I mean, we're still paying to clean somebody's basement out because somebody's going in our house. I mean, there's just recurring problems that keep showing up.
I understand. But if the Elder River comes up 20 feet, it goes to people. Well, if you, listen, I'm gonna tell you something, people on wells, this is a concern. If you think I'm joking, take a little ride tomorrow before the snowstorm hits. Go to Jimmy's Randolph Lake. Look at that, how far that lake's down.
No.
I don't know how far it was down last year. I wasn't up there all this time.
It's down about probably close to 50 foot.
Is it really?
Which lake are you talking?
Jimmy's Randolph.
Anyway.
They routinely bring that down to the spring.
Yeah. But that thing down right now, I've never in my life seen that. It's unreal.
There was an article just yesterday talking about the water usage.
Huh? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
They're talking about the water usage down in DC, because they get their water out of Tell and they mentioned Jennings Randolph and the other day, and they're talking by maybe 20 years completely going, like completely dried up because of the amount of water that's falling.
For the snow tomorrow, but I'll say this, we need it.
We need it, yeah.
I don't like to deal with it.
Yeah, I don't like to deal with it either.
I don't need to tell her something.
I'd like to see moderate rain for a while.
Was the meeting adjourned?
To ask you.
This is all we have left.
You leaving?
I am, unless you think somebody's gonna come steal the bills.
You want them? You want them? Well, take them. Here, give them to me, I'll give them to them.
That's not fair, you're speaking.
I was just wondering, now you're in the, all right, thank you, Joe, we'll see you.
Thanks, Joel.
Kaiser District, I was just wondering if you want to run. if
Reach out
you quit-
to you, Mark,
Yeah,
get out
yeah.
your voices. Separated by the wedge.
I gotta,
Yeah.
Quick.
I'll send it.
You're in Jerry's
It's
district.
all the way, Jerry's ends about New Creek.
It would have been,
No,
we had to redistrict it.
Yeah.
It's at,
yeah, right, the old motel back there.
Yeah,
I'll
right,
do that.
yeah, and that's about right when you get rid of the,
Whatever you do.
50, he lives in Timberland.
Timberlake.
Timberlake,
Yeah, that's
are
your
you
district.
sure that you might, I don't know exactly where the line is.
It is now that it's been redistricted. When Gary redistricted, she's now yours.
Oh, is she? Okay.
Because
Thank you.
that's,
Yeah.
I got redistricted over.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
The line was 56
I don't
instead
know.
of
Something.
pasture grass.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's why I was
I think
I
this is
hope,
that's
a
why I'm
reasonable solution.
skeptical about
Yeah,
it because whatever
well,
it says, it's
you
interpreted,
can't-
you interpret it 100 different ways.
you're not gonna please everyone.
No.
You can't do it, but I'd like to kind of find a medium.
Yeah, we're
And
fine.
I think we did.
Yeah, we're fine. We're good.
Good. But I hope things
You
work
know,
out for
the
you.
smartest thing you guys could have done would have been fire us all and give us some
No,
peace.
I'm not fine with that. She's sick.
Well, maybe-
I told her to stay at home this evening. You think she'd stay at home?
But maybe,
I'm.
maybe
I understand.
that's all.
She wanted to come down here and see us get rained. I know what she wanted.
Oh, yeah, right.
Maybe all this.
She added good 2 cents to the whole meeting right there at the end.
Oh, yeah. Now the wall's crooked.
Oh, is that what?
That's
it is?
always said kind of smart.
Yeah, straight to this side, not this side.
If it would have been wrong, we'd have heard about it.
I thought,
Okay, so since
Yeah.
I'm not in your
Oh,
district
yeah.
or whatever district, you don't do, right?
no,
Thanks,
it's
guys.
not that. I thought
Thank you.
Now, he's running in my district this year. He's running for commissioner.
How far does precinct 1 go? Where does it stop?
Well, it's easier to say this. Precinct 2 is Kaiser. Precinct 3 is the northern end. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be saying precinct, district. District 2 is Kaiser. District 3 is the northern end. District 1 wraps around from Piedmont, Elk Garden, Burlington, Fountain, Fort Ashby. It wraps around too.
Yeah, it's from Jerry's house. And then it comes over where the line used to be Patterson Creek, it's now 46.
Oh, wow.
Cause that's how I got I got put into 1 when we originally were in 2.
So I'm
Down
in two,
Fort Back Road,
You're in one.
Yeah.
I'm in
up
one.
I'm in one.
45, and then back down
In
28,
District 1.
Yeah.
then around
The
Deerfield.
problem I come to you.
No. You go to your relative.
I go to Jason, I did go to him one time, I said, now Jason, I'm talking to you as a citizen.
And I said, I'm not, you're my aunt, you're not a citizen.
I don't care if you need something. If I can help.
I don't need
Yeah,
anything.
Listen,
Yeah.
my phone,
I need my
my phone
sanity.
started this morning around,
Yeah.
I don't know, I'd have to look and see when I sent the first message out. It was probably around
I
8.
had a phone call during the
There's
meeting.
a couple.
It has my
I'm just
stuff.
gonna have
I've been
everybody
in
initial all
Petersburg
these
today.
bills, we can
I had to
process
go to
them
the
too.
Church department today.
The loose bills, the travel bills that you guys
But
gave.
you almost
that's
something up
just
there.
sign off those.
I had to go to
3 American Rescue.
I was on the phone. I had time today to put my blade on the front of my one tractor. That's it.
My phone is trying.
Well, I gotta.
Found out I'm front.
Well,
Congratulations, you got to do that much.
That's what I said.
I'm telling you.
I'll call her.
All day.
Tomorrow.
It's been crazy today. My phone has rang this evening and rang and rang. One guy called me twice, which I don't mind. I don't care. I really don't. If it's, I needed advice anyway, so I'm glad.
How long did it take you to get your judging for the middle school?
I didn't have time to do it.
I knew, well, yeah, I knew Dutch did, 'cause I sat with Dutch before we started.
I didn't have time.
That was. But I, when I get at 12:31 o'clock, something like that. It might have been after one. I got.
So I didn't get home from
Okay.
Petersburg till
It was
after.
a good one.
All right, thank you.
Good night. Weekend.
Yeah. I didn't
Be
get
at
home
church
from
if we have it.
Petersburg
If we
till-
have it.
Hey, putting that,
It was one, put that 1:30, a little after one.
Just we can sell on points on that.
Sometimes what we have people
Married to
do,
my uncle
bring in their
who.
credit card to show that
Things
it
done.
wasn't,
Okay, that-
but,
Fell asleep. They all
it has the
said
credit
that.
card number
Fell
on
asleep.
there.
Yeah.
What threw me off was,
My uncle George, was his
it
name,
might even be on the invoice.
George Arnold.
They added the taxes on, it, but then they credited it on.
No. in-
So they actually,
Behind the college.
I might have to send you, I might have to get you my
Yeah.
invoice from my credit card.
Drugs.
Cause they actually
I
charged my
remember
credit
him.
card, the 362, they actually
I had
charged
to
us
say
the
that.
taxes, and then they credited the $32.
Yeah, well, she was married, they divorced.
That's what-
So that's why I highlighted,
Oh, I know.
but you can see here, see here.
What's
Yeah,
that?
we said-
They have a negative
He
32
was.
pounds, and that's what they credit back to. So that's why I highlighted.
He had just gotten off the drugs
Oh, my
and,
God.
and his new girlfriend or whatever got hooked again.
And so that's how we had
I
to,
didn't know she
that's
was
how we used
married
to pay
to.
for hotels all the time before P card.
That was back in the '70s.
Oh, yeah, I remember him.
I remember,
Everybody had to
the
use
only
their
thing, I was a
personal
little
credit
kid,
cards.
I can't remember anything about it. I
Yeah.
was telling my mom the other day, that the one thing I remember was when.
That doesn't bother me because I
She
could
would
use
use Harry Stewart.
whenever I get ones off that
And
too.
my mom falling to the ground. I was probably about, I don't know, 10 years old.
But I didn't realize she was married.
We've had this drug issue in our community for a long time.
That's something that I never had issue with that. I
We
never,
lost
I
19 out
never,
of our graduating class.
huh?
We lost 19 out of our
Oh, wow.
graduating class. 05. Song facts were way back.
Yeah. I graduated in 2001. I'm not sure how many.
I've never done a drug in my life. Never. Yeah, I'm not buying them.
Right, right.
I'm telling you right now, the other day, my wife called me the other day. It was something she bought, I can't remember what, she said, go get you one. I said, no, I'm not paying that kind of money. It wasn't that much. I don't spend money. You Get a nice gun. Yeah.
There's always that exception.
That's all I spend money on, I'm not lying with you.
This is something we have to turn in for Region 8, just showing.
Is that for the wood chipper?
No.
Did you get that out, by the way?
I have it on my desk. I already scanned it, I just had to send it yet. So this is just an audit thing that they've done to verify that we still owe this balance as of June 30th, which we did. This invoice was submitted to us in September and paid. So we did verify it, but it just asked for your.
I'll sign it.
Yeah.
Well, they brought that up here this morning about reaching it, about they haven't got all the
Wood chippers.
wood chipper agreements back yet, and I'm glad you mentioned it, brought that up, I forgot about it. Yeah, I'll sign it here in just a minute.
Misty finally got her, looks like her dog cage for her truck.
Did you get that letter?
I got it today, so.
Would you put it up for wood there?
I'm spent too much
And-
time at Rapid Care.
I gotta ask,
My day got away with me.
when we get off here, I gotta ask. Cause I don't have it, but.
We have to still, they can't adjourn until after they sign.
Right, till they make the motions to approve the bills.
Even
So
though
there's some commissions don't do this during the meeting either, they do it in the office or whatever, and then they just make the motion to approve everything in the meeting.
I can't.
And this one, Yeah, oh, this is when that door broke.
Yes,
The 700.
yeah, that's the first one, and it's broken again,
Oh, no.
completely broken. The entrance, yep, the wind caught it again,
The wind.
because of it's because of how it's hinged. I think it needs switched. The door to the courthouse.
Oh, did it get bent again? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we need to change it on the north side, it needs to be hinged on the south side of the door. So that's south, southern wind comes up through there, catches it.
You know, when I put my doors in, when I do it, I just got storm doors on.
Mhm.
And I went outside and looked at it, checked it out, and I put it on.
Figures like multiple times before
And
we'll print
to be honest with
anything.
you, I don't care how you put them on, they're gonna catch it.
Yeah.
The way, I watched the wind come around, I kind of checked it out,
Mhm.
and I put them on so they wouldn't catch.
Now, can they still got you time during the work session because it's.
For the one on the
Because
index.
It's a special meeting and I put it on the
Okay,
agenda.
so catch a
Because
little.
I posted it on the agenda, account payable, which anymore, we haven't put the bills because there's so many bills. We'll have this many Tuesday, when we meet again on Tuesday, we'll have this many.
Would you have,
Down Dan's front.
Everyone's that listed, I'm sorry. Dan's Run, that's, oh,
Why have I never noticed Dan's run before for electric bill?
I've seen
that's not the Patterson Street Tower. So,
You sure it's not?
is that Patterson Street
I
Tower?
think it is, because you gotta go down, run Dan's Run to get up to it, I bet that's what.
Oh, you took from Dan's run?
That's,
Yeah.
All right. Never noticed that before.
took me off.
Maybe it has.
How did you want that listed on the agenda, Joel? Jason?
My son Joel. They named me Joel.
It was your badge yesterday, I'm so sorry,
Oh,
Jason,
no,
I'm
it's
so
fine.
sorry.
It's a compliment, he's a good kid.
He is a good.
I guess, executive session with 911, just talk about personnel.
Okay. Here. Did you get the agenda yet? Did it come through your email?
Wasn't I
It
did.
finally went through, okay. Yeah, every time I click, it would just space out and then just say, could not send. Could not send. And so that's why I printed them off right before I left, because I thought, well, at least if it doesn't, I try again tomorrow. You know, because I don't put so many people, usually I don't put so many people on it at one time, I send them out like in different groups. But I did everybody at one time, and then. As they say, it wasn't a big attachment, so I thought, well, why is it taken?
Can you add put that on the time, that way Luke's not, he knows when to come and it's not stuck here all day, like.
Well, we have, we have 2 appointments so far. I didn't get a chance with everything else going on to call outside agencies to try and get. I may have a couple more outside agencies come, because you can discuss, you're not gonna be making decisions, making budget proposals. But,
For Tuesday, I wasn't getting too many appointments. I think we're gonna have a busy day already.
What time we should meet Tuesday?
it's 4:30.
That's what I thought.
We have before 45 with Tucker Community Foundation, and 5 o'clock is Mr. Wayne Long. He wants to talk about the
Yeah.
way we handle estates in the office.
Let me ask, can we come in at 4 and please start going through these ahead of time?
Well, I'm probably not.
Well, if the roads is flat.
Oh, yeah.
Wait a minute, I'm not gonna be there for it.
And I have on there the tentative meeting with prosecutor Charlie Johnson. They're not gonna make it, so I'll bring it up then, that I'm trying to schedule with them. But you and I talked about them coming to one of the. Yeah,
Yeah, do you guys wanna kind of discuss what might happen Mondays.
We kind of did, we kind of did that, yeah.
Hoping you could.
Looking at the weather here pretty
We'll just wait until, see what snow we get.
It could be an inch, it could be 29 inches, who knows? You know what happens.
What
What happened to my papers?
they've already communicated with,
You have mine?
probably, I don't know. They already communicated with judge and stuff, so everybody's kind of, yeah, ready to make a decision.
Hey, Jason, you can see this one here. This is Jason, no, that's Eileen's.
That was a big
Where's
typo.
that? Right,
Yeah, the one I signed, that's mine.
Jason had said that.
The big concern is how cool it's gonna stay.
Because I don't have it in a jacket,
Oh, yeah,
because I don't have it in a jacket to make the initial down at the bottom.
I've been traveling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, just so you guys know, to explain to you,
You still didn't sign. You said something. It's a different bill.
when we went down for the association conference, my app to make my hotel reservation used my credit card instead of the P card. So I didn't realize till after I got home that, till actually
Because I don't have it in a jacket.
today, yesterday.
So you have to do them both.
Yeah, so I
Yeah,
didn't read it.
taxes on mine.
I did 200.
You didn't. My two thirty back we won't, so my bill says negative 40.
Oh, okay, we got yours turned in, okay.
Yeah, they had set up, they had set up a group
Yeah.
rate and it was $144 for bringing.
So we'll go over it.
Have them sign
And if you
Yeah.
did the government,
It's cheaper.
it was $115.
Have enough back, I don't.
Yeah, the government's cheaper, I knew that. Yeah.
She's gonna go get hers real quick, I can sign those.
So we adjourned.
We can, and then I can grab.
Did you make a motion on the bills or?
Make a motion, we, pay the accounts payable.
One second that.
I agree with that also.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second. I agree also.
The mouse.
Now, hold on.
Mouse on your